Welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper, and in this video today I'm going to talk to you about a subject I've labeled Give the Gift of Rice and Save Another Person's Life. Now what I'm going to do is go over a few points of something that I've came across here lately that I think is very valid to share with other people. It's a good value, it's a way to feed a lot of people very rapidly, and it doesn't take much effort to do. And I've covered some of this stuff before in bits and pieces, so this will come together very nicely if you followed our channel ever since we've started. I had a person come visit me a little while back that is a minister, and me and him shared a lot of things on the same level. You know, some of our doctrinal views might have been different, but for the most part our heart was to saving people's lives. And something he really put in perspective for me that I want to share with you is the importance of bulk as far as food goes. I mean, like, you can put back tons of food, but it takes time to acquire a lot of these things, and they are very costly. But if you can get it down to an art, to a science, where you're getting tons of bulk food put back, you at least have the bare essential, a filler, to keep people alive. And that right there is worth more than all the gold stacked in the world. Now, with that said, I'm going to go over the rice situation in just a second, but I just want to point out, you know, I've covered these dehydrated and freeze-dried foods in the past. These are great, but they're a lot of money. And if you're going to try to feed a lot of people, it just starts getting astronomical in the cost all of a sudden. Wise foods, you know, not only that, these foods here, you have to be meticulous to make sure that they don't have GMOs, that they don't break the scripture. Okay, well here, Wise Foods is a no-brainer, don't buy. Shellfish could have been processed on the equipment that this was processed on. Not only that, it's got other certain items in it of questionable content. Garbage. Anyway, we've got, you know, the smaller Mylar stuff. There you go. That's good, but we're wanting to get something a little more larger bulk, and I'll get to it in just a second. MREs are great, but as you start to stack them up in price, they're great for, you know, 3, 4, 5 year storage if you're wanting to continuously rotate them. But to feed tons of people at one time, this can run into a lot of money if you're trying to help yourself and your neighbors around you. But I've come to conclusion by talking with this minister and by adding the math up myself, that this is a great option to save lives, and that's this. You go to Lowe's, the cost of what I'm about to show you should come to about $24 to $25, and maybe factor in a little bit of tax. So, I mean, hey, that's a week's tithe, okay? So here we go. An opportunity to feed a lot of people. You go get you a bucket at Lowe's, okay? And I've already sealed one of these. If you've seen that Mylar 101 video I made, you can check the link right there. Alright, large Mylar bag. Okay, so I'm going to start adding this cost up here. You get your large 5-gallon Mylar bags. They seal just the same as the little ones as I've showed in another video. Okay, so the Mylar bag runs you $2 to $3. Alright, so we'll start adding this up. You go to Sam's Club, and these run between $16 to $18 depending on when you go and the price variance. So when I got this bag, it was $16. When I went to town today, my wife told me it was $18 whenever she went in. I didn't go in to Sam's Club today, but at the current time I'm filming this video, that shows you that, you know, the price does change, fluctuate. Alright, so there's that cost. Then the hand warmers, now this is what I use to suck the oxygen out because it's such a large thing. I mean, I cannot pull that back up. I put 2 of these per thing, so there's, you know, you might get these 50-cent piece or $1 piece, so, you know, there's, we'll say $1. Alright, and then the bucket at Lowe's, I think, ran around $4, okay? So there you go, 25 bucks, and you've got some rice together. Now, the great thing about this is that bucket of rice right there, if I had to divvy that out, I'm pretty sure, I don't want to guess too far, but the people that are next to me and in my neighborhood, if I had to just crack this open and try to help my neighborhood out, that would probably feed everyone in my neighborhood for 2 or 3 days. Now you say, well, what's 2 or 3 days? 2 or 3 days might be the time frame that, even if we're not talking the 7 trumpets of Revelation right now, we're talking a hurricane, we're talking a small earthquake, we're just talking simple stuff. The power's out for a couple days and people couldn't get food. Or we're just talking very simple things. 2 or 3 days might be all that it takes until you get some assistance again. So for $25, you've just purchased a means to save potentially a ton of people around you, not only in your own household, but your neighbors. And not only that, if you start putting this back in mass for your mag group, man, this is a great way to get bulk food and put it away quickly for a small cost. We're talking $25. So $100 is 4 buckets of this stuff. That's I got 40 pound in this. I actually had some left over, so I'm going to guess 40 pounds. So you take, that's 4 buckets of this for a $100 bill. That's 160 pound of rice. That's pretty awesome. Now, I just want to share one last thing with you from Scripture. It was on my mind. You can find it in the Bible in Isaiah chapter 58. If you don't have a Hallelujah Scriptures Bible, I encourage you to get one. A wonderful Bible, Restored Holy Names. It says here in verse 6, I'm going to read just from verse 6 down some. It says, "Is this not the fast that I have chosen, to loose the tight cords of wickedness, to undo the bands of the yoke, to exempt the oppressed, and to break off every yoke? Is it not to share your bread with the hungry, and that you bring to your house the poor who are cast out, when you see the naked, and cover him, and not hide yourself from your own flesh? Then your light would break forth like the morning, your healing spring forth speedily. And your righteousness shall go before you, the esteem of Yahweh would be your rear guard. Then when you call, Yahweh would answer, and when you cry, he would say, Here I am. If you take away the yoke from your midst, the pointing of the finger and the speaking of unrighteousness, if you extend your being to the hungry and satisfy the afflicted, then your light shall dawn in the darkness, and your darkness be as the noon. Then Yahweh would guide you and continually and satisfy your being in drought and strengthen your bones, and you shall be like a watered garden and like a spring of water whose waters do not fail." And it goes on, if you want to read that entire chapter, it talks about the people that build up the old waste places, and it's talking about the Sabbath. So, you know, 2 of the most important things we can do here in the last days is to love one another and help take care of one another, and not only that, but to restore our Creator's appointed times, because we truly are entering the most turbulent times in the history of humanity, and we're going to be forced to do things against our will, or either go down a martyr, potentially, many of us, for standing up for the Scripture and for one another and for doing what's right and honoring our Master. So in the meantime, though, let's try to feed one another and take care of each other. So I hope this has been something of value to share with you. I really appreciate you, Minister. You know who you are, and I appreciate you, sir. And I hope those parts I gave you for the gasifier, for you to build one, work out really great. Hope me and you both get to see each other in the new kingdom. And until we see all of you here back at 7 Trumpets Prepper Channel again, have a most blessed day in Yahushua's name.